Hey there, welcome to the Her Business Podcast. I'm your host, Susie Daphnis, and today we have a fantastic topic lined up for you. It's actually perfect if you're running an established business, but you find yourself overwhelmed and short on time. And what we're talking about today is being too hands-on. But before we dive into it, earlier this week, we ran our annual members event called Her Business Live. And the theme for that was inspired. And I was so inspired by the women who attended. We had almost 300 women register who attended and are so committed to growing 6-figure and 7-figure businesses. And some of them are already there and they were just looking to be lifted up and to be inspired. But mostly my message for the day was about us stepping more into the CEO role in our business and not being so hands-on, not being in every area of the business, really finding a way to build a business that runs without us having to plug all the holes and do all the things. So today we're talking about, as I said, being too hands-on. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the concept of building this hands-off business. And I'm going to give you some practical strategies to implement. So here we go. So to kick things off, I want to address the mindset shift that's required to really embrace this idea of a hands-off approach. Now, I know this isn't easy, but what I want us to start thinking about is moving away from taking on everything ourselves, believing that we must do it all, ensuring it gets done, to actually thinking about, well, how sustainable is it in the long run if I keep doing all the things? Because if we can adopt a hands-off approach, we can really unlock incredible benefits like being able to actually scale the business or the freedom to focus on what truly matters or what we truly love doing or are most gifted to do, and even more time for ourselves. But getting there can take letting go of being the superhero in your business and really starting to build a business that can thrive without you constantly making every decision and doing every task. Now, this can sound like a good idea, but can be a little bit hard to implement. And I know that this idea of having a hands-off business is one that I keep bringing myself back to. Now, I've been in business a long time and I have quite a leveraged business. I have a wonderful team of staff. We have a lot of automation. We have a lot of recurring revenue. But here's the secret. Anything I talk about here on the show, you can pretty much guess that I'm going through a level of peeling off another layer of the onion myself. And as I learn, I share these ideas with you. So I want to speak now about this idea of not doing it all yourself. Now, I know that you probably know you shouldn't be doing it all yourself. But I'm going to assume that you're also on board with this idea of having hands-off success. So let's talk about some practical steps. First things first, it's time to identify those areas of your business that can be delegated or automated. And I want you to think about the tasks that eat up a significant chunk of your time, but could be effectively handled by someone else. So is that managing your inbox, or is it your bookkeeping, or is it your social media scheduling? Or perhaps it's writing your email copy or your sales pages or helping you recruit new team members. Maybe it's time to leverage technology and to explore outsourcing options that can really help streamline your business operations. Because if you can free up your time from these routine tasks, you can start to focus on higher level strategies and activities that truly move the needle in your business. Now, I've heard women say, but I don't know if I can afford to have someone else do it. And here's what I've found. In the long run, you can't afford to keep doing things yourself if you truly want to grow. If you're happy to stay where you are, if you're happy for the next financial year to look like this one, if you're happy to still be doing what you are doing this year in your business a year from now, then maybe you don't need to make this shift. But if you do want to make that shift, then something has to shift. The other thing that I hear people say is, but if I do it myself, it'll just be faster. And I know that can sometimes be true, but that keeps you wearing all the hats. And that is a real self-employed mentality versus a CEO, a business owner mentality. And the hat that I really want you to wear is the one that says CEO on it, business owner on it. And we talked a lot about this at our Her Business Live event because it's just 3 little letters, but they mean so much. When you start to approach your business from wearing that hat, if I was stepping into my CEO role, what would I do today? What would I leverage? What would I delegate? What would I prioritize? And the quicker that you can make that shift, the better it's going to be for your business. And sometimes I know it is a mindset issue, thinking, can I really ask others to do things for me? And I remember feeling really unworthy of having staff do things for me when I was perfectly capable of doing them myself and could probably do them faster. But doing that just keeps us in our competence zone instead of our genius zone. And those words come from the wonderful book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. We can stay in our competence zone and we stay busy, we're doing things we're good at, but we don't get to play in our genius zone, which is where the creativity is where the magic really happens. So what could you automate or delegate? So I'd love for you to take a moment and make a list. So you could pause the recording and make a note. And if you're out walking, I still encourage you to pause the recording and find the recording app on your phone and speak into it, or find the notes app and jot down a couple of things that you can pick up later. So what is it that you could stop doing? And here's the thing, we're not meant to do it all alone, especially if we want to grow a successful 6 or 7 figure business. So building a support system is a critical path towards that hands-off business. And so one of those things is getting additional team members. Now, they could be employees, they could be contractors, they could be virtual assistants, but it's really about having a support system for yourself. And team is just one part of that. But surrounding yourself with the right people, that makes all the difference. And the place to start is to think about what you want to leverage and start to find the suppliers, the contractors, the strategic alliances who align with your vision and your goals. And I know inside of our Her Business Network, we have reliable resources who can help you find new team members. So please ask us. We have a wonderful members directory where we can help you find reliable suppliers. So there's that. But also, who could you do business with? Are there people who have a similar audience, but perhaps a different business to you? And perhaps you could work together to help grow both your businesses so that your marketing is a little more hands-off. And I want you to think about seeking out networking opportunities and to join communities where you can connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Because these connections, they can bring guidance, accountability, they can open doors to exciting collaborations. That is part of having a support system. And that, for me, has been so essential in growing multiple businesses, is to have a support system. So not just my team, but to be in masterminds, to be networking with the right people, to be parts of communities where there's like-minded entrepreneurs who will open up doors for me and me for them. So building a support system is not only about business growth, but it's also about personal growth. And that's what the Her Business Network was specifically designed to do. And if you've listened to this show before, you'll know that I like to say that at Her Business, we work not only with the outer game of business, the skills you might need, but also the inner game of business. And that's the personal growth. That's the mindset. And inside our network, every day women are doing business together. They're referring each other clients. They are cross-promoting their programs and their stores and their offers. They are joining forces to pitch for business. We have a slogan inside of our network, and it is Lift Up. And it's about exactly that. Having a support system means that you are lifted up when you need it most, and you in turn are lifting each other's up. And that doesn't mean things have to be difficult. That means that you have a support structure so that if it's the end of the month and you need 3 more sales to meet budget, then you have people to reach out to say, hey, I just need a few referrals. Who knows anybody who fits this criteria? This is my ideal client. This is my offer. And I see women helping each other with this every single day. So we've talked about mind shift, we've talked about delegation, and we've talked about having a support system and how important all those are to transitioning to a hands-off business. So I want to give you a couple more actionable steps that you can take to start to transition to this hands-off business. And the first is to go back and to what I was saying earlier and evaluate your workload and really look at the tasks that you're handling. So which ones could be delegated and which ones could be automated? And you want to identify specific areas where you can offload responsibilities and free up your time. And then you want to prioritize tasks for delegation. So once you've identified the things that you don't need to be working on, then really prioritize them based on this, on their impact on your business and the potential for others to handle them effectively. And you might want to start with tasks that are repetitive, and you might give those to a person, or you might give them to a technology, or they're time consuming. So what would make that faster? Or they're outside of your core expertise. They're not in your genius zone. And the other actionable step here is to find the right support. So that might be hiring a virtual assistant for a few hours a week or a few days a week. It could be outsourcing to a specialized service provider who's going to get that job done faster than you. It might cost you a few dollars, but it's going to get done. It could be bringing on team members. It could be finding reliable individuals or organizations that align with your business values. And it's also about embracing that CEO mindset. We started this episode talking about that, and you want to be open to learning from the experience that building a business provides you. Because the journey of being a business owner, look, it can take some time for the business to actually look like what you want, but I know that if it is really your true intention, if you allow yourself to get the coaching and the support, the clarity and the plan to finally step away from doing all the things, I know that you can totally make that shift. But it starts in your head. It starts with really deciding, I'm going to create a business that is more hands-off. I'm going to create a business that runs without me. Now, runs without me doesn't mean that you're sitting on a beach somewhere in the Pacific. What it means is that you are not sacrificing time with family. You're not sacrificing every evening, every weekend working in the business because you are not leveraged. So this shift it's about being more hands-off, but not just in delegation. It's about reclaiming your time and creating a life of freedom and fulfillment. And so it's about stepping into that CEO role in your business. Even if you're a business of one person, really, it's still about the mind shift. It's about the way that you approach your business. And you want your business to thrive with you, not just because you are doing all the things. And remember, change does not happen without us taking action. So I cannot wait to hear what you take away from this episode. I would love for you to tell me over at podcast@herbusiness.com. I want to thank you for joining me today. I can't wait to connect with you on the next episode. But before we go, I want to let you know that if you would like to know more about the Her Business Network, we are an online community for women who are looking to scale their six-figure business. You can visit us at herbusinessnetwork.com, at herbusinessnetwork.com. Now, before we go, a woman who is definitely scaling not six, but a seven-figure business is the wonderful Tina Tower. Now, she was on the show a few episodes ago, actually 10 episodes ago, on episode 219, and she posted about the episode, and she posted the fact that I had been one of her first mentors and that she really enjoyed doing the interview. And Melanie Campbell, who's one of our members, who is actually someone who works with women in menopause, she said, such an inspiring interview. I listened to it this morning and loved it. Both of you are amazing. And Felicity from Hats by Felicity said 2 inspirations right there. So thank you for your encouragement. If you haven't listened to that episode, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to episode 219 with Tina Tower. It's about self-awareness, it's about selling with confidence, and it's about finding success. And I'll put a link to it in our show notes, and our show notes are over at herbusiness.com/229, because this is episode 229. That's herbusiness.com/229. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be thrilled if you would let me know. You can email me, as I said, at podcast@herbusiness.com. But what would be really cool is if you would jump across to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating or review. I promise you this, I will give you a shout out on the show, but don't do it for that. Do it because you feel like this is a good show and that other women would benefit from also learning more about how to create a business that they love. So until next time, keep doing what you love every day. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.